Hello and welcome, everybody. After the first preseason game, we're getting together, talking a little bit of Bears. David's after surgery. He's feeling all right. Carl's joining us tonight, so we're going to have a good night tonight. And I just want to start it off with just a little conversation I had with my friend. And, it's interesting to me because Caleb said he wants to chase Tom Brady's legacy and all his rings and everything like that. He was very open about that when he was drafted. And when you look at what makes Tom Brady the best, right? I was thinking about this, and the one thing that really sticks out to me about him versus a lot of other quarterbacks is I think he's been the most coachable quarterback. And I think it's proven with where he got drafted in the seventh round. I mean, pick 199. And at the end of his career, he's got a handful of rings. Early on, though, you have to develop trust with the play caller. It's like Peyton Manning screaming at Jeff Saturday. Why don't you just worry about blocking it? Why don't you just let the guy who's calling plays call the plays? Like, why don't you just focus on your responsibilities and trust the others around you to do theirs? And I think what we see oftentimes is these guys get in situations where they want their physical gifts, their physical abilities to come through and save the day in bad moments. And those moments are great when they come into clutch moments at the end of games and things like that. But when you see somebody try and, airmail a ball early in the first quarter, it doesn't always look nice. And sometimes you get dealt a bad hand, and the best option is to fold that hand. And it takes some time for these young quarterbacks to learn to fold sometimes. And I think that that's going to be the challenge that Caleb Williams faces this year, is getting that relationship and that trust built up with this play caller and just learning when to fold when necessary and limiting mistakes and making the thing as clean as possible. Because I don't care what game plan you draw up. It's like Jericho says, we play checkers before chess. I can just manhandle you up front on the lines, wipe my ass with your game plan, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of had those thoughts, and I wanted to share that with everybody. I want to share with both you guys. I got a couple questions for you guys, too. But, I don't know. What do you think about my initial little 2 minutes right there? Not bad?
I think it's just it's my main worry. It's like building off. It's almost like you just kind of picked up where we left off last week in terms of your thought process. Because for me, it is my main concern and my main thought process going into the season with Caleb Williams is that I want to trust him because, like, as a rookie, he was dealt such a shit hand and he overcame a lot and he adapted really well. But it's my biggest concern with what we joked about with Trubisky and Justin Fields. Are you asking Caleb Williams to do something that he's just not naturally good at, which is to be like a ball control kind of guy, a game manager to an extent? I don't think Ben Johnson's going to ask him to do Jared Goff levels of like game management. And then take like, let's say they average like 4 or 5 big shots per game. A lot of those were just like reverses and screens and stuff. Like Ben Johnson's going to trust Caleb Williams to take a fucking deep ball way more often than he did Jared Goff. But like you said, it's just going to come down to a microcosm of sometimes it's just bad luck and Caleb Williams will throw a perfect ball and he'll get intercepted and he'll look like an asshole. But I just worry about that. Are we asking, if you know Caleb Williams and you watch his highlights, man, like the guy was never necessarily a simple quarterback. Doesn't mean he can't do the simple things, but the where he shined was improvisation. And I don't know if that's what Ben Johnson wants from him, because everything I've heard about Ben Johnson is not necessarily improvisation. It's stick to the plan, like stick to what I'm telling you. So that's my biggest concern. It might be just more of the Bears quarterback trauma in me, but I just feel nervous about asking Caleb Williams to do something that historically he hasn't necessarily shown that he was built for this. If you told me this was Bo Nix or Drake May, I'd be like, yeah, clearly this is perfect for them. But Caleb, I'm not 100% sure.
Is there any way that Caleb Williams can get any better at anything that isn't on schedule stuff? Like, I don't know if he can really practice to become better at the off schedule. I know that the Chiefs are starting to really make it popular to where they do other antics on whatever day. They have, the inmates running the asylum. I know, Dave, you like that term a lot, where they just have the players leading their practice. But Caleb Williams showed so many flashes in the NFL, not at USC, but in the NFL, just how effective he can be off schedule. First thing that comes to my mind is on the Vikings, that play where he flipped it to Swift. So I don't know, man. I think that if you can get him to an average to above average level on script, grip it and rip it from the shotgun, whatever, I think that the sky's the limit as far as that goes.
I don't doubt it, but to answer your question directly, I think there's only a few ways that you get actually good at that, because I don't think anybody young and early in their career is good and consistent on script. I think guys who are young and really, really good are making plays, and they look really good because they're going off script. Even like young guys that you can think of, it's because they're making a play. And so to do what you're saying, it's just be with the same coordinator and the same offense and the same system for 3 years plus until the quarterback can get in the huddle and probably call plays all on his own without the coach's help.
You literally saw that with Ben Johnson and Jared Goff in quarterback. Yeah. It's the third iteration of that series technically, but that famous play, I forgot what it was, where they wanted a double move with a tight end. And Jared Goff is literally, unless they found a way to fake it, Jared Goff is literally in the huddle begging, I need this play, I need this play, I need this play. I think it was like Wasp or something. And then, of course, he calls it, and of course, it works perfectly. So that's exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, so I think that's the only way to do it. That's why, I don't have high expectations this season. I expect the offense to stumble, but we can talk about preseason results and what it looked like. But I heard a few people comment on it in media and podcasts, the ones that are really responding to the preseason more positively. It just does not feel like Ben Johnson's a rookie head coach. And we can get into the vibes of the preseason, but I did not see, and you rarely see it in a preseason game and early because it's just not obvious, but there were things that they panned over to that sideline so much in that first preseason game. And I did not, it was rare, I feel like, to see so much activity on a Bears sideline from coaches, positional coaches pulling players off immediately after plays and coaching them up in that moment. I don't know if I've ever seen it that consistently done, maybe since the Lovey years, where you just saw active movement and speaking and talking and pulling guys, a guy's walking off the field and their coach, their positional coach is immediately grabbing them by the shoulder and just being dude, come here. We need to address this right now before we forget to talk about it.
I mean, dude, we're coming off of a year where the head coach was calling for a field goal on the wrong channel, or to go for it on fourth down on the wrong channel, and the field goal unit's running out there while the offense is what are we doing? And so, yeah, it seems like that fundamental basic stuff is there with Ben Johnson. I know I'm sure you guys heard the story of Caleb bitching about his headset going out, and Ben Johnson's like, okay, it's going to go out. So when that happens, what do we do? What are your 4 favorite plays? We got to work through this. So we know. So when we get into those situations, we still remain somewhat in control. I go back, Carl, you mentioned quarterback. I go back to a clip I saw with Kirk Cousins, I believe in season 1, where, it's third down at the end of the game. They don't get the first. He rushes back up to the line and tries a play, and they don't get it and wind up losing the game. And on his jog back to the sideline, Kevin O'Connell looks at him and goes, dude, I trust you to make that call. I don't mind that you make that call, but you let me know you're going to make it, and I'll have a play ready for you. Let me help you. You're not doing this on your own. You know what I mean? And so, if you would have let me know on third down, if I don't get this, we're going. Then when you don't get it, I already have a better play call than whatever you could call just off the top of your head right there, and that you guys are ready for. So, it's interesting. But, yeah, that is what I'm talking about. A lot of those things do seem like they might not be an issue here. Ben Johnson's on point, and I think we might have gotten a much better coach than we think we've gotten. I mean, time's going to tell, and the wins have to come with it. I have a question for you guys, though. So regarding the preseason and what we saw, I think this is a good question. You have to involve the situation into it, too. Who's a better backup quarterback? Case Keenum or Tyson Bagent? Case Keenum has started in this league.
My gut says Case Keenum off. If you're at actually weighing things out right now with Ben Johnson in place, I think if early in the season somebody needs to come in for whatever reason, the whole point of a backup quarterback is to back up. I was going to ask this question to you guys, but I thought it was just too clickbaity. I might still ask it. We'll see. But like, let's say Case Keenum does have to come in early at some point. I trust Case Keenum to digest an NFL playbook that's this complex and actually play it well enough in the first 4 games than Tyson Bagent. If we're talking midway through the season, so week 10, right? Week 8, and everything's equal, I trust that Tyson Bagent with an extra 3 months, because from now till, week 10 is 3 months maybe. I trust Tyson Bagent will probably be close to Case Keenum with knowledge and concepts and schemes. But as of right now, early on, I think 100% all 3 quarterbacks will be on this roster come week 1. I don't think there's a chance in hell we go into week 1 with 2 quarterbacks. But
Carl's eyes.
No, I'm just looking at my audio settings. I have a feeling that I fucked up my shit. I may have to go out and come back in.
Sounded like your mouth is.
I thought you were going to
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So yeah, to my original thought, like early on, I just don't think that there's any chance that you're losing both quarterbacks, or you're losing any of these quarterbacks. In I think Austin Reed. I think he'll be a practice squad guy again, but I think there's like almost a 0% chance that you're going into the season with 2 quarterbacks like you did last year. So yeah, I would trust Case Keenum probably about 40-50 more percent than I would Tyson Bagent. Shit, if it was week 1 and everything's the same and we were hearing that Caleb just comprehension skills were absolute ass, I wouldn't hate Case Keenum starting like the first 2 weeks of the season. If Caleb Williams just straight up couldn't comprehend the playbook or understand systems, or was like going through practices fumbling 3 snaps of practice, like we heard like some sort of catastrophic type of situation going on in practice, I wouldn't hate it if Case Keenum started like game 1 or game 2. If it was that
I don't think that's going to happen though. But
I don't either. I'm just saying, like, if it was all equal, Case Keenum's a legitimate NFL quarterback. Like,
that's what I mean. He's had experience in this league.
Yeah. I really like what David said. I think I heard it correctly. If you needed someone sooner and for a shorter amount of time, like let's say Caleb gets hurt against the Bills because he's apparently going to be playing, but it's something small. He's going to miss the first month and then you get that bye week. I want Case Keenum. Case Keenum knows the offense better. He'd be able to have a more steady approach, and I think he could get you through with that, in that doomsday scenario, get you to that 2-2 record that you probably would want in that scenario. But long term, my vision of what this offense is going to become, and you want a little bit more mobility from that position as far as a quarterback is concerned, I would rather have Bagent. Based on the Dolphins game alone, I thought that Bagent didn't have the best game, so it's more fodder for the Case Keenum school of thought, but I'm not in love with either of the backup options at this exact moment in time either.
That's a fair point.
Another question for you guys. At the end of the season, who will have the bigger impact, Colston Loveland or Luther Burden?
I mean, it's Loveland. There's no doubt about it. It's not even close. The Bears' initial depth chart did reveal, in my opinion, that their base package on offense is 12 personnel. And I know guys like Adam Mason love to bang the drum on that, but the fact of the matter is 12 personnel is going to be Kmet blocking and Loveland running out for a route. So that's my 2 cents here.
Speaking of, David, I'm assuming you agree?
Yeah, I just think for the same kind of reasons. Like, I think in terms of impact, because of even like just plays on the field, I think usage-wise, Colston Loveland is going to be a part of 60% of the snaps, period, minimum. Minimum, I would say. Whereas like Luther Burden might be like a 40 to 30% guy.
And here's something that like no one is talking about too much. Luther Burden got so many snaps on offense against the Dolphins. I think that signifies that he's got a long way to go, and the coach said so as well. But Olamide Zaccheaus, OZ, that guy might already be better than Earl Bennett. And he might be your legitimate 60-catch-a-year slot receiver. That's going to be one of the most underrated signings at the end of the year, in my opinion, when all is said and done. That kid's going to get one-on-ones and get open often, and he essentially feels undeniable at this point. I don't know if you can rank him above Luther Burden. You almost want Luther Burden to play like the Tyler Scott deep shot role, and
why not?
Also be like your gadget guy.
Why not rank him above Luther Burden? I think Luther Burden is like your wide receiver 5 at best right now. On
What
the
do you
depth
mean?
chart, I think he's your wide receiver 5 right now.
It's very plausible that Luther Burden's your wide receiver 3. I think he's wide receiver 4, not because of how bad or anything like that. I just literally think that OZ is playing better.
I agree. I'm saying, like, as it stands right now, in terms of talent, Luther Burden could end up your 1 next year. Like, he might be your number 1 receiver next year. I'm not saying talent wise. I'm saying, like, on your depth chart right now with what is standing, it's DJ Moore, it's Rome Odunze, it's Olamide Zaccheaus, it's the who's the returner that we got from
Well, Luther's 4. I'm going to be very stand pat on that.
Devin Duvernay might be 4 right now over him.
Hell no.
Yeah, he might be.
I mean, Duvernay showed absolute zero as far as a returner. His time in Chicago might already be over for my very brief and unprofessional opinion on that. But as far as your wide receiver 5, we can get into that. I mean, give Jade Walker a chance for that one.
Who's the guy that Ben Johnson brought with him from Detroit, the practice squad kid?
It's not Duvernay. It's Walker. No,
yeah.
Maurice Alexander. It's Maurice Alexander, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a depth chart somewhere.
Yeah, Mo Alexander.
Hey, Carl, why don't you explain to me and David? You went viral again? Who'd you offend? What happened?
Maybe I offended myself. I'll get the tweet on the screen. I was going to tweet it out so that we can get some more clicks, but no one wants to see that. It's just regarding this left tackle situation. It's what I titled my side of the stream. The left tackle position has taken a turn for the worse, in my opinion.
Elaborate, please. I'm unfamiliar with this news from today.
I have a clip of a little piece of poop with your head on it. I said, I'm sorry, that was a bad joke.
Oh, I thought you were going to play that for Taylor Dahl.
I will.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm saving it. Yeah, I figured I'd.
Anyway, you can go ahead and throw this up on the screen and I'll explain. So, again, 13,000 views. That's what I call viral. It's far from. But just tweeting off of what Mr. Greg Braggs had to say today. Again, between the comments by the OL coach, being Dan Rushar, and the different reps and looks that we're seeing a tackle between Braxton, Ozzie, Theo Benedict, and Kron Amagaji, it just seems to me that a message is being sent by the coaching staff. So again, the left tackle position at this point, going into a game where your starters are going to be playing, I would hope that someone is separating themselves. But it's trending the exact opposite way. We're searching for other options. So again, my quote tweet here that, again, self-proclaimed has gone viral. I feel like I, myself, is the leader in the clubhouse for the Ryan Poles cheerleaders. Because I have a feeling that you two were very critical of Ryan Poles, didn't want him extended, all these things. I always thought that was asinine. I love Ryan Poles. But today, just not feeling that. Ozzie Trapillo has felt like a swing and a miss of a pick since day one. I think you guys are the only 2 people on this earth that could corroborate that story on my side. I have not loved Ozzie since the jump. And now that we're relying on the Canadian Football League to help secure Caleb Williams' blindside, this sucks. I hate it. I don't want there to be any mystery. We gave the second-round pick that we acquired in a trade back the inside track to earn the starting left tackle position, and he just flat out sucked against the Dolphins too. Maybe he wasn't awful, but he wasn't good. And Braxton Jones, those legs look skinnier than mine. Again, I sit for a living, guys. And proof is in the pudding. He was in a very critical rep against Chop Robinson or whoever it was. 4th down and goal. It was the play that Mr. Tyson Bagent got that touchdown pass off, which I didn't think was a good throw. Whatever. That left tackle, Braxton Jones, he fucking whiffed too. So they've just got nothing as far as the left tackle. I think that's going to be a big, big problem this year.
Speaking of whiff blocks, I know Manan guy had a decent game, but man, did he get blown up on a couple blocks.
So
and you can't do that, man.
That's his welcome to the NFL moment. And Tom Thayer commented about how, yes, the end result was poor, but he didn't go the jag-off route of avoiding it or just, chop blocking and looking like a scrub. He took it on the chin, and he gave it everything he got. If you're going to get that effort, and Eric Bieniemy can coach it out of him, I prefer him to Roschon Johnson at this point as running back 2. Why the hell not?
I think Roschon might be the best blocking running back we have.
It's very plausible, but apparently that ankle was so fucked up that we had to go triple dip, so to speak, on Jamal Williams. His sorry ass still can't make the team after several tryouts on the inside track with the head coach. And we're signing guys like Britton Brown, who are just cast off from the Oakland Raiders. So that running back position's not good either.
Yeah, and you know what? And they I don't want to say neglected it in the draft, but they sure waited till the 7th round to pick one. And we talked about how deep this running back class was. We talked about the necessity for a running back on this roster, and how you don't go after Ashton Genty per se, but back into the 1st round or the 2nd round, or there's a handful of names you could take. And look, some of these guys are early on preseason looking like they may belong, and you might have missed out. I don't know, on a position of need.
Just look on the other side of the field. Just keep it plain and simple and stupid. Look at the other side of the football field, what you saw out of Ollie Gordon. How many times did you pass up on Ollie Gordon? It's funny because if this is being streamed to Bear Down Sports with Adam Mason, there's someone who has given Adam Mason like $100 in donations at this point just talking about Ollie Gordon. Probably because the guy liked him in college. But still, it's like you can't find anything better than this. And I get it. They like Kyle Monangai, whatever the case is. I hope that he proves me wrong as well. Because that 13-yard run, if he can do that 10 times a game, that'd be incredible. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Alvin Kamara's still out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it.
Alvin Kamara probably cost a 4th-round pick on a bad day. So
the financial. We talked about this too. The financials.
Yeah. Before we move on, just sticking to the topic at hand, quarterback and left tackle and all that stuff. Is there, and what would it look like, a situation in which, because again, I'm prefacing this not with negativity. It's the reality of this is going to be a complex ass offense this year. This is going to be a lot for Caleb Williams to digest. And I don't even expect them to pretty much like run a smooth playbook. I don't think they'll run the full playbook, probably the entire season this year at any point. I would say that'll be safe for next year. But I would say the playbook running smoothly probably won't happen until week 10. Right? Like most NFL teams with veterans are rusty until week 6. Like week 1 through 4 football is kind of shit.
Well, Dave, just so you know, the Bears are going to start the season 7-0 because we have all this talent and we have an incredible head coach, and we don't need an upgrade at running back because DeAndre Swift's a top 5 back. We're going to start 10-0. Did you know that?
Sure. I mean, I really don't. I don't hate the running back thing as much as you guys do, just because I do think that the differences are negligible there. But here's the thing with running backs, man. Like, let's say out of these 15 running backs that got drafted, right? What's a good amount of them being like legitimate starters over the next 2 years? What would you guys say that number is? 7 of them?
I mean,
define legitimate starter.
Exactly. Shelf life.
Like
short on them. So
obvious starters for 3 years.
So is there such thing as like a bell cow? Starting running back that takes 90% of the reps at running back anymore? I don't think there is.
Let's say it's like
I thought that Tank Bigsby was a starting running back last year, and he wasn't.
That's my argument, which why I'm not so upset about this is because like Bijan Robinson was what, 4th overall, 7th overall, 7th overall.
I'm not sure. I can't remember something about that.
Is anybody like
7th, yes?
Is anybody like certain that Bijan Robinson is going to have like 2,000 all-purpose yards at any point in his career? Anymore? When he was supposed to be like fucking crazy.
They play in a dome against the Saints. They play 2 dome games against that football team. They're always going to have 400 yards passing in that game, and they're not going to swing it out to Bijan.
Fine. Would Bijan Robinson be upgradable at this point in this draft? Would you say how many picks? Carl, as a person who loved, how many of the running backs that were drafted this offseason would you say would start over Bijan Robinson in your mind?
Genty looks like a dud. If he plays as good as he did at Boise, he would be twice as good as Bijan.
I mean, we can, but I mean, all hypotheticals right now because nobody's played.
All hypotheticals? I watched Travion Henderson take his first ever NFL touch 100 yards without getting touched. So
my point is
Genty,
you're kind of like Hampton, you're dancing around it because we're talking like 4 or 5 running backs you'll probably be able to list that you would say like are legitimate starters over Bijan Robinson, right? So my problem with that, what we're saying is like if there's 6 or 7 legitimate starters, Bijan Robinson level of talent that you want to be good, for fuck's sake, Najee Harris started for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like these teams are gonna any teams
And
that
he almost
invested
got
in these,
Mike Tomlin fired.
right? So I mean, besides the point, he's still a starting running back in the NFL for like 3 years. What I'm saying with that is like, let's say 6 or 7 of these guys end up being starters. Guys, there's going to be guys that are cut. There's 2 starter and running backs on a team. Then one of them is going to get moved on because they're getting paid too much, or they want to go play somewhere else where they get more touches. Or if they're a free agent, they're not going to come back to that team because they replaced them with a young rookie running back. So like next year, when these cycles of running backs rotate and neither Roshan Johnson or DeAndre Swift are on your team, and Kyle Monunga is your running back too, and you've replaced the other 2 or 3 guys at training camp, everyone's going to be just as excited because it's just a negligible position. So you're going to get through this season at 80% capacity, 75% at worst,
40.
with what you could have gotten. 40's asinine. Get the fuck out of here. That's like you're saying you're the worst running back room in the league.
PFF said that. PFF said we're like 29, 30.
I mean, regardless, you're still going to have
You're making my point for me.
1,200 all-purpose yards. I'm not saying that they ignored it, but if there was a position to ignore because it's incredibly easily upgradable in one offseason, it's running back. So
Sure.
if you do suck at it a little bit
The
this
point
year,
is-
you can
Same
fix it
conversation why
instantly.
you don't draft him top 10.
You
Sure.
can fix it
James,
instantly.
you guys are right. The
You can
point-
fix it. You can fix it tomorrow with a 5th-round pick and give it to New Orleans.
Ian Wheeler.
If it's that serious, if this offense,
You're right.
if they review tape by week 2, week 3, and they're like, guys, there's holes everywhere, which I doubt. Like the offensive line is just mauling dudes, and DeAndre Swift is just fucking like flicking the stick left and running into a guy. They'll be like, okay,
When the hole is wide open because Theo
Right.
Benedict opened up the inside and he said, I can't run through the tackles.
yeah, just
Oh
a
my God.
hole the size of the Canadian border, right? Like fucking running into dudes. Then they'll address it, and you can easily fix that position. It's easily fixable this current season, mid-season.
I disagree. I mean, you'd have to mortgage the future, and doing that with an unproven slate.
Mortgage the future or take like a cash payday loan?
I mean, you're going to be potentially drafting the top 10 again. If you're giving up a second-round pick for Breece Hall, and you're giving them like an
one's gonna
actual
do that.
All-Pro,
No one's doing that, and no one's
that's
suggesting
correct. I
that.
hope not. There's no way that you can upgrade in 2025 under a reasonable set of circumstances that doesn't have a huge negative impact, whether that's losing serious draft capital or worse, financials. Having to have some sort of crazy cap casualty going into next year when you've got no safeties under contract and you're already $30 million in the hole for 2026.
Carl, I believe
The
you're the
2025
person who said-
season
who-
is a
your
sunk-
quote is that
Not
the
real.
cap does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
Right, yeah, you're going to have to do some crazy shit. You're going to have to give Caleb Williams a crazy extension way before he's due.
First of all,
You
look,
can make
Welcome
it
to
work,
Varsity
but
Film, where
I'm
we hold
not gonna
Carl
go into-
accountable for the things he
I'm
has
not
said.
going into these crazy hypotheticals in which we traded a first-round pick for Breece Hall. Fucking nonsense. But like,
Breece Hall's going to get
I'm sticking. Then Kamara's going to get traded for a bag of balls. So
But
like,
Kamara's cap hit is 45 mm,
which
son.
okay. So if Breece Hall goes for a
See,
5th and
you gotta
Kamara goes
cut
for a
DJ
6th,
Moore to
then you
trade
give them
for,
a 5th. Relax. You give them a 5th or a 4th and say you guys pay $25 million of the $30 million signing bonus, and we'll give you a 4th instead of a 6th.
That sounds like the Khalil Mack trade. That's why we were able to get a second, because we paid money. So now you're talking
That's
about
what I'm
day
saying.
2 draft capital for a running back? I'd rather just lose 12 games against
You
Jeremiah
just
Love.
suggested drafting a guy in round 1, pick 6.
Yeah, I want Jeremiah Love, yeah.
The guys are. Alvin Kamara will last probably as long as 8 of these running backs.
Once Kamara leaves New Orleans, he'll probably just hold in for the rest of his career. I feel like he is emotionally tied to them. I just want the
don't
player, but-
really get your point because
I-
you're willing to draft a running back 6th overall that will probably have a shelf life of 3 to 4 years in Chicago, but a 5th round pick is extravagant crazy capital
it's
being
not.
invested
With
in
the
a
money
guy
it
for
is.
2 years.
I'm gonna
It's
look
not
it
your
up.
money.
I'm
No,
gonna
it's
stop
not your
exaggerating.
money.
Let's look up
right.
Kamara's cap hit right now.
I want to ask you guys another question too. Come week 6, give me average yards per game and average points scored from the offense through 6 weeks. Where do the
I don't
Bears
have a
stand?
good barometer of
Yeah,
what
I
is
don't
good
have
or
that.
not. I'd have to look
Oh,
at
really?
what the Lions did.
Okay.
I will
I mean,
Here,
promise
I
on
can
you.
give you guys
average-
some ideas.
You said 6-7 weeks.
6 weeks in,
Yeah,
I
in
predict
6
very
weeks.
low score. I say 22 points a game.
Yeah, I'll say like just 66% of whatever the Lions did last year. Like 2/3 as good.
I had
If we're lucky.
I did still have a question because I got sidetracked by this asinine fucking running back argument.
See, I love pushing your guys' buttons. This is awesome.
The
I know, me
average
too. It's my favorite.
total yards per game in 2024 from an offense was 344 yards, including both passing and rushing. So that is the average last year for an offense.
Yeah, but we're talking about Detroit, which was a top 2 offense the last 2 years.
I'm just saying, like, where do the Bears average? Like, if you have a 250 yards per game offense, you're trash.
No, they'll average 3.
Say that again?
Caleb will have 220. Your collective running backs will have 110, 120,
So you think like around 300?
340, 330.
Okay, so around average.
A little below average. I think you'll be 20th offense in the league 6 weeks in.
If you're lucky, yeah, absolutely.
I think you're the 20th offense in the league ish. 21,
But when
18
you're-
to 22.
When you're sitting between 25 and 28, don't say I told you so.
I don't know, boys.
No, I mean I'm that's me being optimistic generally speaking. Sorry, so let me ask this question. Unless you have some statistics to provide about running back trades and or cap hits.
The
Because-
cap hits on Kamara are negligible. You can make it done or get it done very easily. I can
know.
share the screen right now.
Yep.
I figured you could.
for sure.
You know why? Because the cap's not real and it doesn't matter.
And so
Yeah, that's
no,
correct because
I hear
Jalen
you on what
Hurts has a
you're
cap
saying,
hit
but
of $99 million in 2029.
I found out. I heard the statistic that CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott alone, before Micah Parsons, have more cap hit per year than the top 5 paid players on the Eagles combined.
Yep.
For the next 5 years.
Yep. It's so
That's-
ironic, right? Everyone wants to draft, develop, and retain their own, right? But Cowboys, you draft fucking incredibly. Top 3 wide receiver, top 2 defensive end. Literally can't keep them. It's awful.
Yeah, they need to give cap discounts for homegrown talent. That or just-
They might be trying to pull the rug under Dak Prescott if they actually want to do something with Joe Milton.
No.
Joe Milton can run that offense.
I
Yeah.
have the solution for this. I really do, and it drives me absolutely crazy. And I think it might be ruining the sport, but it's not because everybody loves it.
If you say
The
Kolachki's,
problem-
I'm just leaving the
The
stream right.
problem with today's NFL is that you're paying every quarterback based off situation and potential, and not based off what they've done production wise. And so, dude, every single quarterback come contract time, it's time to be the top paid quarterback. Like, dude, I think we saw it with Justin Fields. If we keep him here, we're gonna have to pay this man $40 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
or trade him away for a 6th-round pick. So he's either worth nothing or he's worth everything, and that's because you're mortgaging that based off his potential and the situation. Because you drafted him in the 1st round and you passed on 2 first overall picks at that point to keep him here. So, like, I think what needs to happen is these quarterbacks need to stop taking so much damn money, and if that
can never-
happens,
No.
Yeah,
You
I
can
know,
never
but
do that.
dude, it's
You can
the
never do
key,
that.
though.
Here's-
It's
You need to
the
talk
key,
to
man.
PJ.
I had my favorite idea for this is, and I think it's the only realistic one, is you can't stop these guys from getting paid when it's the most important position in all of sports across the board. It's just a fact.
It's like
It
not
is the
even
most-
relatively
And
close.
it's not even close. Like if you have a
Tom
top 5
Brady
quarterback,
Like
is
if
not
every
a top 10 paid quarterback.
Here's
entire time
the
he's
if
idea.
playing.
I
every
heard-
single
here's the-
baseball
no.
playoff game was equated, right? Like instead of them pitching, how many times does a starting pitcher start in a year? 30 times, 40 times?
Sure.
If you cut that in half, but every game they pitch, it's a playoff game in baseball, then you're getting close to how important it is for a quarterback to perform well in the NFL. In the
Not
regular
even, because
season.
your pitcher can still do dog shit and your offense can bring him out of it. So it's like, because that's just, it's rare that your quarterback can play like dog shit
Well,
and you win the game.
Yeah, now we're doing a
It's-
different conversation, right? If you bring back the steroids and you
but
actually
you
let
see
these
these
guys play
situations-
baseball, then
No,
you
no,
can win
here's
10-9.
Let me
Look at
just
Trevor
present
Lawrence.
this
I'm
idea.
done. I'm fucking done.
Let me just finish this fucking point. Fuck. The best idea I've heard so far about quarterback and financial and capital and all that stuff is if your quarterback is signing a second contract with the team he was drafted by, the cap hit is 50%. They still get paid the same, but your cap hit is like 50 or 75% of what it's worth. Like, it doesn't have to be 50%.
Of what it
'cause that's like
50%
is.
less?
50%
The hit.
of what it is.
of
So
what
like
it
if the
is.
hit, if you pay
If it's your homegrown quarterback.
16% of your cap, it winds up being
Yes.
8% cap hit.
Yes.
I
Yes.
see what you're saying.
Let's not
So
even
it's
go
free
50.
money.
Let's say
Free money.
75%. It's not free
You're saying
money
half
because you're
the
still
contract.
paying the
Half
guy.
That's going to
contract.
result
cheap
in a
owners.
crazy chain reaction, though. That's going
You
to,
can't
like,
do that. The cap is based
No, it
off
doesn't.
income.
No, it
So you
doesn't,
can't
because-
just cheat the cap.
No, because the teams will still not want to re-sign bad quarterbacks if it's a second contract, unless they're doing it for like having a body to throw out there and be mid as fuck. So you're still going to get the same amount of contracts offered because you're not going to get great offers on these contracts. And if a player wants to leave because they're mid or not good enough, or the team just still doesn't want to pay them that much money, because some teams just, I mean, for fuck's sake, the Bengals had to sell the naming rights to their stadium to pay Joe Burrow. But if it's 80% of the money, right? Let's say it's 80, something that's reasonable of a percentage of cut against the cap. This is a way you can keep a homegrown talent, or you can forget the quarterback. One time a year, you get an 80% exemption on a secondary contract. Jerry Jones could have used it for Micah Parsons. He's like one time per CBA. You like,
But where are you getting that money from?
yeah, you'd always
you're
apply
still
that
paying
to the
the
player
same
who
amount of
earns
money.
the most,
Paulie,
which is a
Paulie,
quarterback.
so let's say you're an owner, you got to pay your quarterback his second contract. It's going to be $500 million. Against the cap, it counts for $50 million every year, right? Now, you still have to pay him $500 million. You're still paying him $50 million a year, but your cap hit is 40.
What I'm saying is, so you're that $10 million, say the total cap is $200 million, right? And you don't have that 10 million affect your cap, you still spend it somewhere else. You can
Correct.
still
So it's
max
almost
out.
like
So you're still spending
Other leagues do
million,
this.
but
Yes.
that 200 million comes in from the NFL based off the contracts that they have, and that's the amount that each team has to spend. It's the same. The cap hit is the same for every team. Right? So like unless
Right.
you have
You can
10 million sitting in the
redistribute
bank extra that you want to spend, which not every team does and wants to, then you're not a player in that option even.
No,
Like,
Paulie, because
so-
what that does is it's giving you another 10 million you can pay to a receiver who's also good. He's going to count for 100% of his hit, but it gives you a little bit more financial flexibility to keep some more of your own homegrown talent.
so you're
If
suggesting
Jerry-
that the NFL pays that though
No,
to that team.
I don't know.
Then where's that 10
You're-
million coming from, dude? Is what I'm asking.
Dude, these owners have money. What are you talking about? They have to still pay their players. It's cap hits are fake because it's just a way to keep balance in the league. It's not about money and how much they actually get paid. There's plenty of. I'll give you an NBA example. When the 2 CBAs ago, the NBA redid their CBA, the contracts were getting so out of control that the NBA gave each team a one-time use token that they get to just cancel a fucking contract and it doesn't count against their cap hits.
Different sports have completely
They
different
still have to pay the person. The money's not the NBA didn't say, here's the money to pay your player. The money is still being paid out by the owner who gave him the contract. But
The
cutting that
cap hit.
player, cutting the player and letting the cap hit the team would make the team suck for 3 years because the cap hit is preventing you from signing a new player, even though that player does not pay for your team. He's been paid his money. He's not playing on the team. The cap hit is still fucking you. So regardless
Don't
of whether
they
that
do that
player is
shit
there
with
or
like
it's not,
bonuses?
yeah, they do it all the time.
So like
Rich
that's
players-
what you're suggesting essentially is they just up the bonuses.
I can't.
No, because I mean, because dude, I'm fundamentally not understanding because to
I'm
my
having to give
understanding,
this to you from Michael Scott.
okay,
Mama has a
to my
lemonade
understanding, every single team has the same cap hit because that money is generated based off income that the NFL makes from certain TV deals and sponsorships and everything like that. Therefore, when the cap hits come out and it is 200 million, and that's how much you can spend because that's how much you're getting from the NFL for all that stuff. So to sit there and say, well, this 10 million doesn't count against the cap, it's like, where's that 10 million coming from? Because it's an extra 10 million that the NFL is not giving you. So is it coming from the owner's pockets?
And
if it is, not every owner is going to want to participate in that.
It's almost like
that
the
balance
teams
isn't balanced anymore.
the teams that have the good quarterbacks, the guys who are getting paid $60 million a year, if you're saying that the cap hit, either one time or whatever it is, can be reduced by 50%, that's a $30 million increase. And we overpaid for a starting defensive end that's $15 million. You could get 3 starters for that amount of money. So you'd have a crazy advantage for having a good quarterback.
So you introduce a luxury tax. So where that money comes from is now an owner gets to keep his team together. And he does that by, okay, well, the cap hits 200 million. You're technically in the range of 230 because you're 30 million that you're not paying your quarterback. You're technically paying into another player. That 30 million is wiped off as a luxury tax. You have to double it and you put that back into the league and it gets redistributed among the teams. So you have to pay for it. A lot of leagues do this. Almost every league does this except for baseball because baseball has no cap and then that entire league is fucking chaos. That entire league is a travesty of what modern sports should be because you have Oakland Athletics who have an $80 million payroll and the LA Dodgers who have a $500 million payroll. It's not the same sport. It's just not the same sport. It's the fucking Saskatoon Rough Riders versus the fucking Patriots. That's what baseball actually is doing on a day-to-day, year-to-year basis.
And
But
Ohtani's contract, he's getting paid like, what is it, $2 million a year until he retires, and then he's getting buku money so he can move and not have property tax.
That guy might have collecting checks in jail. That man is committing more fucking crimes on U.S. soil than...
And it's so funny. I saw someone tweet this out, and I hate to pivot away from football altogether.
No, then Donald
Yeah.
Trump. No.
I was just gonna say, I'm like,
That is
imagine
it.
if
Come
Michael
on,
Jordan,
hilarious.
couldn't speak English. The shit that he could get away with, like, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's just
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
that's
I'm so
a
confused.
great point,
I didn't
Carl.
know I was breaking the law. Oh, that's your wife? I'm sorry. I thought she said she was your sister.
No, yeah,
Sorry, I
we
still
can
have.
go
I
back
never
and
got my
forth on
question
this
out.
one. Okay, go
I
ahead.
never got my question out.
Yeah, I know.
I fucking hate you guys. In what way, situation, or what would it have to look like? I'm waiting.
Because you're a piece of shit.
I am not a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but you're a little bitch. Sure.
What is the situation that for the benefit of everybody? I would say I'm not layering this with like a layer of negativity that Caleb deserves to be benched. What would you need to see weeks 1 through 6 where you're just like, all right, I don't think Caleb sucks here. Nobody's saying that. But like, it's not doing this guy any fucking good going out there in these first 6 weeks when he's clearly just not getting it yet. He doesn't cope or he doesn't like jive with Ben Johnson. It's clearly not a Ben Johnson problem. What would you need to see? And what would like maybe that look like or the stats look like where you just be like, you know what we said, doomsday button, like Case Keenum, just run this shit for like 4 weeks until he understands this.
Dude, 5 sacks a game.
You'd be talking
a red
Anthony
flag.
Richardson territory, right? Because Richardson got
Okay.
benched for Flacco.
Okay. And what did we see? I don't know Richardson's
I don't see
stats
that.
off the top
In
of
my
my head.
opinion, I've seen metrics that suggest that Anthony Richardson is the most inaccurate quarterback of all time. And I don't think that Anthony Richardson deserves any time in the NFL, period. That's coming from a fat sack of shit who is also not able to play in the NFL. but I don't think that Anthony Richardson is so much better than me that he deserves to start. So if you're talking about anything, it's Caleb Williams has to get every rep and struggle through every rep or cut him. How bad is that? You probably have to be winless through 14 games. Other than that, benching
14?
him... Yeah. Other than that, benching him, there's no fucking point to that.
Okay. So you just let it ride no matter what.
Abso-fucking-lutely. You
Shorty-
have to.
Nobody's saying that Caleb isn't getting it. What David's saying is what would have to happen
This is
for
hypothetical.
you to say that Caleb's not getting it. So
I think Caleb is the
Dude, I
quarterback
think
for the next
like
3
it's
years, no
essentially
matter
the
what.
question is like, what's the leash? What's his leash? Like, dude, I don't
But-
know, man. You go 0-6 and it doesn't look good. You're telling me
0-6.
you're telling me there's not a quarterback controversy or discussion of a quarterback change if the Bears are 0-6?
Well, with the shitty Chicago media, Paul, yes, but you're hitting the panic button with a brand new offensive system, with a second-year quarterback under a first-year head coach. 0-6 when you're ready to hit that little red button like the orange man. Seriously?
Okay, hold on.
You put context into it. No.
Yeah.
Let me answer Carl real quick.
I'm about to. We're about to say the same thing. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not like getting interrupted?
No.
Pull him, pull him, pull him.
Oh no, I know what he's doing. I deserve it. I interrupt all the time. Go ahead, David.
Same.
No, go ahead. We were about to say the same
Same.
thing, so go for it.
It's the context. He got drafted onto what, a 7-win team? Okay, so you have all these excuses that are now changed. Bad offensive line, changed. Bad head coach, changed. Bad play caller, changed. Like at some point, it's on Caleb's shoulders. I think we're kind of at that point where.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I have different context then. Like Paulie said, and you said Anthony Richardson. I'd have to go look up Anthony Richardson's stats. I was thinking much more of a Bryce Young situation where Bryce Young just clearly benefited from sitting the fuck down for a little bit and getting that pressure taken off and just really understanding. Because I think Dave Canales is a much more like Dave Canales, Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson. I group them together in these kind of like just young mastermind head coaches that are definitely know what the fuck they're doing. It's just a matter of like time and transcription of the concepts to a young guy's brain. That is, and at the end of the day, let's remember these guys are 22, 23, 24 years old. They're fucking kids.
Yeah, tell that to Colin Cowherd.
Yeah. So my point is like the context of Paulie saying he's a first round pick and all that. I'm not really that concerned with it. I think it just did Bryce Young a lot of good to be benched. My situation is Dennis Allen is putting out a top 5 defense in the first 6 weeks of the season, keeping teams to under 15, 20 points a game. And Caleb Williams is averaging
Under 15 would be 1985 territory, Dave.
I think you forget what the NFL looks like in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, bud. Like teams that are ready to be aggressive on
God, I
defense
need a
look fucking
PFF
amazing.
subscription like I need cocaine. I mean, holy smokes! I'm gonna draw the line in the sand right there. If the Bears defense
I said 20.
gives up
Fucking
15 points or less in the first 6 weeks, I don't know what I'll do. I'll ask Taylor Dahl to post hole. I don't know what I'll do.
6 weeks of 15 points is still 120 points for the first 6 games of the season. I guarantee there are teams letting up 120 points or less over 6 games all the fucking time.
Eberflus had that insane streak where the Bears were giving up less than 20, and it was around the 19-20 range. But like that was like
20,
a legendary
15.
thing.
I'm giving you a hypothetical. Relax. I said 20 to begin with.
NFL
latched on to
offenses.
15.
NFL offenses, points per game last year, bottom 3. We're looking at Cleveland at 15.2, Giants at 16.1, New England at 17.0.
So if you're at 15 or less, you're literally the 1985 Chicago Bears.
Okay,
No, I'm
latch
just
on
saying,
to 15.
like-
Go for it. Whatever. I said 20 also, so relax. 20 points to 15, whatever. Let's say we're latching on to one number. My point is, let's say you're keeping teams below 20, 21 points per week for 6 weeks. And Caleb Williams is averaging 2 picks and 4 sacks for 6 straight weeks. And you're losing, and you're
Are
2 and 4.
all
1
4
and
of those
5.
sacks on Caleb each time? He held the ball for 6
Based
seconds and was playing
based on
hero ball?
last year, and the fact that Bo Nix had less than 16 sacks all season. I think it's possible that at least 2 of the sacks per game would be on him. If he averaged 2 sacks, like, again, you're asking for a lot of context here. If he's not getting it done and it's 2 picks and 4 sacks a game and you can't score 21 points for 6 straight weeks and you're like, nope, let it ride. I think that's not doing anybody any good.
Carl, when you say is it on him? Yeah, dude, play styles for quarterbacks in the NFL determine a lot. Caleb holds on to the ball. He does. Like, this is not your typical drop back, get it out of your hands quarterback. He's just not that. And so, I watched a guy in Tom Brady where, like, if the left tackle gave up his protection, he just threw the ball at the ground. It wasn't going to get sacked.
Interjection to support your point. That is the point of Ben Johnson's offense, is to get rid of the ball, reduce the negative plays, progress the ball up and up and up and up. It's not a drop back 2 yards to gain 15 every time. I'm just saying, my point is like, if there's a clear miscommunication and misunderstanding of how the offense is being run, and this guy's averaging like 2 or 3 picks or like 4 or 5 sacks a game, like, I'm all for it. Let Caleb learn. You want to do that? We'll pull up a Peyton Manning comparison immediately. But like, I don't think in year 2, after he had such a decent year, that just saying it's an unlimited leash is going to do Caleb Williams much good either.
Yeah, Carl, would you say 3 years?
What?
What is Caleb Williams' leash?
I just don't understand. I think it'd have to be so incredibly drastic for him to get benched in 2025. I think it would be such a disservice for you to take out a young, athletic quarterback who can move out of the pocket, which I hope that Ben Johnson is designing the offense around. We can't take any context from practice or preseason, because if he's putting that out in the public, it's just doing the Bears a disservice by giving teams intel. Everything that they're doing is vanilla. I just listened to Ben Johnson talk about the Jags that they signed for the defensive backfield. They're just going to be running vanilla shit to let them play and see what they can do. We're not going to be doing anything crazy here. But as far as the offense, I hope it's not a carbon copy of what they were running in Detroit with the statue. I think that you have to write it out. He's an immense talent. And if you are already, I don't know, the first 6 weeks are Vikings, Lions, Cowboys, Raiders, your bye week, then the Redskins and the Saints. So you're going to say, okay, 6 weeks in, he sucks. I know he's going to suck against the Ravens. Let's just bench him for a statue, for Case Keenum. And God forbid Case Keenum wins that game on the road against the Ravens. You're going to say, whoop, this guy's no good. You need a statue. Let's go get Drew Aller. Let's go tank for Drew Aller out of Penn State. That would piss me off beyond belief. I think that it's in the best interest of the Bears, the coaching staff, Ben Johnson. Get the damn most out of the quarterback that you lucked into. You didn't earn the first overall pick. You traded for it. You got lucky. So there's almost nothing he could do to get himself benched early or middle of the season. Again, if what you said with the 2 interceptions and 4 sacks, if that transpires for 14 games, fuck it. End the season early, start next year. Accelerate the tank. You're going to let Tyson Bagent walk for nothing because he has no trade value? Fuck it. Throw him to the Wolves. Go earn a job somewhere else in the NFL, guy. But there's almost nothing he could do. I think Anthony Richardson was benched last year because the Colts thought they could win their division. But I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But in any event, again, my point here, Caleb Williams, there is no leash. He's walking off the leash already, and that's how it has to be, in my opinion.
It's a fair answer. It's kind of what I expected.
It is a fair answer.
It's not far off of what I was thinking also, but I didn't think it would be such an offensive thought, because my difference is it's just not 14 weeks. I just think that for Caleb's benefit, 14 weeks of that would be non-beneficial to him. And I think it'd be like 8 weeks of that. But to say, like, if Ben Johnson asks him to be more aggressive, like if he does anything resembling last year, he's fine. I'm not suggesting that Caleb Williams is bad in any way, but yeah, I mean,
is Kyle Shanahan a good coach in this league?
Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's top 10.
Yeah, okay. How many games did Trey Lance get?
I
Guys,
think that's a
listen,
little different.
it's different, but it's the same because at the end of the day,
How is it the same?
because
You don't
He
have
cost
Jimmy
3 first
Garoppolo.
over-
You don't
for
have
3
Jimmy
first-round
Garoppolo
picks.
coming off a failed Super Bowl attempt. How many NFC Championship or above games have the 49ers made outside of last year when they were dealing with severity of injuries? I feel like
And
they were
they
in the
made it-
NFC Championship or the Super Bowl for 6 straight years.
yeah, and I feel like they were in the Super Bowl with what, a 7th-round drafted quarterback? Like, dude, either you can play
And a
and you get it,
fantastic roster
and,
around
or
him.
you don't. If you're a good coach in this league, you see that, and you don't tie yourself to the draft capital investment that you have spent on a player. And, dude, I'm telling you, the excuses for Caleb are not. There's not going to be a lot of them this year, man. A lot's changed. A lot's been fixed. A lot's been catered to. It's going to fall on him, and it's going to fall on him this season. And for me, I have patience, but I was even telling my friend Dan on my way home today, like, I need you cannot go 0-3. You go 0-3, I'm fucking furious, man. Give me at least one win out of those first 3 weeks. Like, I need to see a spark. I need to see some sign that this is working, that this has potential to grow in the future. But it cannot just be a bombshell. And at the end of the day, you are just tied to your record. You are tied to your wins. Like, honestly, if Caleb sucks, but we're winning games, if we're 4-2 in week 6 and he hasn't looked great, you still keep starting him because you're winning fucking games. Like, that is the end statistic that matters the most. And yeah, that's why I said, like, if you're 0-6, like, dude, unless like the defense is the problem and it's clear, like, no, there's going to be quarterback questions, there's going to be quarterback controversy, and there's going to be quarterback talk because this is
There's
going to
be quarterback controversy and
This is the
pitchforks
do or
on
die year,
fire
man.
if they lose to the Vikings in week 1 because that goddamn Seth Wickersham book.
Yeah, because we have a chance to catch them with their pants down, and they're a good team, and we can fucking steal a win, and we need to if we want to get to where we want to get to this year. So yeah, I will. Be
I guess
pissed
the
if we don't win
I
that.
guess the question really is like expectation, because like if you just think that Ben Johnson's coming in here and fixing the culture immediately, like, I don't know, I have the same, like, I have almost the same expectation for this as the Patriots, like 7 to 8 wins, like, so it's not like it's not that
Dave,
crazy, but like,
have you dabbled into the New England Patriots anything at all?
a little bit. The vibes there are good. I think their players are mid.
I hate to sit Indian style and do a dance on Brett Coleman here, but he's tooting the trumpet. Patriots are probably a wild card team, man. And
If
do you
they're
know
a
why?
wild card team,
Do you know why? Because of their star running back.
Okay.
Yeah, not Drake May.
Yeah, not Drake May or Mike Vrabel or the entire culture changes because they got Travion Henderson in the second round.
Yeah, they got a fantastic tool on offense. Equally as good as anything the Bears have.
You're a fantastic tool on offense.
Hey, yo!
No, it's
No. Real quick on the chat side, I don't understand why like hypotheticals of negativity is perceived as me being negative on the outcome. Like, I don't think that the Bears are going to be necessarily bad. Like, Cliff, sorry.
Set the
why
record
do I
straight.
think the future?
I've
why
got a
do I
record
think the
prediction
future
ready
looks
to go.
bad? Why does the future look so bad? I'm pretty psyched for the season. I'm psyched to see how things go. The outcome itself, I don't like. If people are back to predicting a playoff season again, I can't help you here. Like, you might get lucky and be right, but I mean, we predicted 12 wins with Caleb's rookie season and 5,000
Throw
yards.
up the record prediction, Paul.
It's fucking unbelievable.
no, man. The chat wants to see my body, but just so Shorty knows, you got to pay for that. You want me to point it down low? That costs money.
Members only. Members only content.
Ben could have stayed in Detroit
Paul's
or gone
nipples.
almost anywhere he wanted. He picked Chicago. I totally agree. I think my biggest, not even concern, I think that like Ben knows Caleb's a good quarterback and Caleb is a good quarterback, and hopefully they're gelling correctly. I thought I would hear a little bit more about the relationship and the building of it. Maybe it's a good thing that we don't hear as much about it, but it's been either underplayed or it's going not as well as the narrative was all Caleb and Ben Johnson marriage for like 4 months. And I think people forget that so quickly. And all I can hear in the narrative now is that Ben Johnson is just a great overall coach now. And it's just, I guess that's fine. That's great. But like, I'm not either it's being undersold, that their marriage and their relationship. Paulie, can you take it off for a second? Because there's a few more chat things. That the marriage of them is being either undersold or underplayed, or it's just not going as smoothly or as quickly as anybody would have wanted it to, because it shouldn't go that quickly. If Ben Johnson is doing this much work, then it probably shouldn't be going this quickly. And then, like, when was I optimistic about the Bears? Like, homer optimistic? Like, predicting 12, 13 wins like everybody does every year and not be realistic? Last time I drank Kool-Aid was probably, like, 2019. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl the year after Trubisky and the Eagles loss, the double doink. I was not optimistic about, like, Nagy because I thought his brain broke with the whole kicker thing. And I was like, it ended up being correct, but I thought that the kickers would work themselves out. So I was like 12, 13 wins that season in my head. And that's the last time I've been like homer optimistic, where I just ignore facts. So that's the last one. But
yeah, it's hard to be a homer and have these crazy predictions when the results are what they are. I mean, we've had 3 wins, 6 wins, 5 wins, 7 wins, 5 wins. Like, I have a tough time predicting a 12-win team in the last 5 years when we haven't won over 8 games in one.
Because frankly, we don't know what a preseason of a 12-win team looks like. We don't know what an offseason of a 12-win team looks like. It's never been even close.
David, me and you have always talked about this, where, like, we're Bears fans, and Cliff said, something like, part of the reason Ben came to Chicago was Caleb. Part of the reason Eberflus came here was Fields. Like, part of the reason everything, like, we've been on this cycle before. We know what it can turn into. And let's not pretend like it can't. Like, we've lived through this over and over and over and over. There's a chance we might live it over again. I think we're optimistic that it's not going to happen. Like you said, David, Caleb is a good quarterback. But we also talked about how, like, I'm starting to trust that Ben Johnson is a good coach more than I am that Caleb is a good quarterback. Like, I think a lot of those things are evident. Yeah, and I could separate one from the other one, man. Like, Caleb's got a timeline. Ben Johnson's has a timeline, but it's longer than Caleb's, for sure.
If you want to ask that question to Carl, if Caleb ends up failing, Paulie's question, Carl, last week to me was, does Ryan Poles get fired, or does he get another quarterback with Ben Johnson? And what would your opinion be? Caleb fails.
When?
2 years
This
from now.
year.
He's
Okay.
no 2 years.
Yeah. So let's say
It's Caleb's
In the-
end
the
of
tw-
Caleb's third. Let's say it's the end of his third year,
yeah.
and he's just been not good.
Fuck.
Does Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson get thrown out with the bathwater too?
I think that if the Bears are drafting between the top 10 or below in 2026, so after this year and after the next year, you have serious questions, but it really boils down to how bad it's been up to that point. And it's hard for me to explain how I'm thinking about this, but I do think
Let's say it's
that
year 4. Let's say it's year 4. You're just not sure about Caleb, and Ben Johnson wants a new quarterback.
It's time to pay the quarterback.
There's so many moving parts there to figure out who stays, who doesn't go. I think in a perfect world, in a very basic statement, if Caleb Williams doesn't work, every fucking one is gone. Ben Johnson's gone. Al Harris is gone. Antoine Randall L has replaced Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Ryan Poles is literally helping bag shit at Jewel Osco. Like, every fucking one is gone if Caleb doesn't work.
Then the situation is that you only have one shot to open this window. And if it opens even a little bit, you got to take the best chance you have. So at some point, you need to shift over towards mortgaging draft capital future.
Yes.
And
so
and
you
making
guys
trades
asked,
yeah, go ahead.
what does an offseason look like for a 12, 13, 14 win team? We know exactly what it looks like. And it starts by trading for Khalil Mack, doing something serious to spark your football team. I think in 2025 right now, it's just a little bit too premature. That's why I said with Caleb Williams, lock it the fuck in. Unless
That's why I
he's the
said-
worst quarterback in NFL history through 14 weeks, just go through it.
And that's why
if
this
you
is a
end the
do or die
season-
year, Carl.
If you end the season against the Packers, 49ers, and Lions, you win all 3 games, and Caleb looks great, I don't give a fuck about what happens before then. Trade everything. Trade for Parsons, trade for Kamara, trade for Saquon Barkley. You got to throw the kitchen sink at it at that
I would
point,
even-
in my opinion.
I'm so into it, like what you're saying, that if we had won 9 games even last year with Flus and still fired Flus and upgraded and all that shit, and Micah Parsons was on the table, 9 wins from last year, I fucking make that trade this year. But that's
not with
just
not with the
close.
regime change. It's just a bit too premature.
I would've.
You have no
I would've
idea
been
what
okay with
any
it.
of this is going to look like.
Yeah, but like we're saying, this is why, again, me being
But if
positive
it
in this
doesn't
way,
look good, you're gone anyway.
right?
If
The
it looks
window is 2
awful, you have to have a backup plan, and that backup plan might be Tyson Bagent. I don't know, but
If
until
your plan fails,
until
let it
we're
fail
at
catastrophically. Fuck it.
if the Bears get backed up to the fucking edge of the peninsula and they're about to fall off the fucking cliff to the death into the lava of Mount Doom, you don't jump. You got to hold the fuck on. And if you can come back from Mount Doom, holding it over the ring, throw it into the fire. No. And you come out and you can still destroy that ring 2-3 years later. You got to do it, man, because without Caleb, this thing's going to crumble. You
I don't
have
know,
to
bro.
salvage
Gollum
him.
seemed pretty fucking happy, man.
Hey, now we're talking.
Gollum,
We're talking.
Gollum seemed pretty happy, man. He went in that lava happy as a clam. So
It's
You
because
don't
he
need
bit a
hair to
finger.
be
He was
happy,
hungry
guys.
and he bit a finger.
You don't
I'm
need
just saying,
help.
but again, it's like I can't be painted as this fucking negative person over the Bears all the time. But to me,
throw
add
up
fucking
the record
go to
prediction
9
again.
wins.
Please
go to
throw
nine
up,
wins.
No,
throw up the record
screw you.
prediction, please.
Screw
I
your
need
record
the
prediction.
context.
Go to
8-win
9
team
wins.
is what we're looking at, guys. 8-win team.
Yeah. If you're at
That's what we're
8 to
looking
9
at.
Throw it up-
wins
throw it up,
now
please.
No,
this
you
year,
put 7
and you
and
want to
10.
make a fucking crazy
just-
trade
I mean,
the next
just throw
year,
it up.
go for it.
Again, after the bye week, you lose to the Skins or 1-5, right? I get called an idiot. I get called the R word, whether it's stupid or racist, just anything you could think of. Just because I'm not
Multiple
confident
R
that this is
words.
going to hit the ground running immediately. Is
Has
that
anybody gone
asinine?
15-2 in the last 5 years?
What's that?
Chiefs are the only team that went 15-2 in the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's the chat. I'm surprised that they predicted the Bears to lose to the Eagles. They're just
so
the
that's
defending Super Bowl
why-
champion.
You're painted as a negative because look at what the chat
Right.
thinks.
The
And so-
only
so it's
teams
not
that are
negative,
better
it's-
in this, the only teams better than this team this year are NFC and AFC championship representatives. We're already on that level.
Yeah.
Chat's always
Yeah.
inebriated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Cliff. We know our audience, though. We love you guys. Always appreciate you tuning in. And dude, and I love the disagreement and the debate. I mean, I just choose to always, until I am proven wrong, I'll err on the side of caution. I'll look at what Vegas has for this team. I'll probably predict somewhere close to that because that's probably where this thing's going to wind up until I'm proven wrong. And so far it hasn't happened in the recent future. So, yeah, and I know I hate this, but it's like we got to see it, man. We do have to see it. I'm telling you, it's a do or die year for Caleb. The expectations are actually pretty high. Carl, that's rough, man. I don't want to see a slow start. I really don't, and I don't want to hear excuses. And I want to see production. I want to see execution, and I want this thing to be at a point where the failure is obvious, where we've put enough effort into the talent on this team now. We've put enough draft capital. I mean, for Christ's sakes, guys, we had 2 first overall picks back-to-back years. We've put enough
Only used
into
one.
this where we need to see results. It's you can't just keep doing this. It's insane,
I love, I'm sorry. I love, Shake's great. Cliff, you're great. You guys use these words so casually. It kind of blows me away. Poles is a great GM. What is great? What is Howie Roseman then? If Ryan
Literal
Poles
God.
is great, literal
Literal
God,
in a Bible.
who else is a great GM if Ryan Poles is great? If the threshold is that Ryan Poles is great, what does that say about the rest of the league then? Because great, I say that word much more for guys like Howie Roseman and like the Chiefs. I don't even know who.
Jerry Jones
The
is
guy-
pretty good.
Yeah,
Stop the show. Stop the show.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
unironically, Ryan Poles has done a great job of fixing the financials. I think that you
Correct.
can
Sure.
you can
Sure,
pivot
yes.
and do different things now without being worried about the future financially, that is great. The talent and the results, not great at all.
much
Yeah,
better, much
than
better
average.
set. Better than
Better
average.
than
He's
average. Yeah, he's on the higher end of average. for sure.
14. To say he's great, I say great for top 5 teams in the league. The Texans have a great GM. The Chiefs have a great GM. The Eagles have a great GM. Ravens have a great GM. Those are great teams that are consistently great every year, have a 24th or 28th pick every year, and they still get a starter and a top line coach and a top line player and top line free agents every year. Those are great GMs. So if those are great and you're already putting Ryan Poles into that category when his best season ever is 7 wins, that's your standards are just too low for using words like that. To say Ben Johnson is such a great coach already. He's a great offensive coordinator. Is he a great head coach? You have no idea.
Yeah, literally zero idea,
You have-
zero
you
evidence,
cannot
zero
say that.
nothing.
You can't. It's like the next, alien. Our next alien planet will find is going to be awesome. Like we haven't found it yet. What are you talking about? Like
Yeah,
you don't know any of this.
I could say one thing. I could say there's been less red flags with Ben Johnson than there has been with some of the other coaches we've had. There were red flags with Nagy. There were red flags with Eberflus. So far, the only thing I haven't liked is not playing guys in week 1 of preseason. But like a lot of other things I've heard, I've actually been happily surprised about. Like Ben Johnson's arrow is pointing up in my book. But you're right, David. We haven't seen one game, and that's why like these wins matter, man. You don't.
And
You're
that's
not a
the
great
thing.
coach if you go.
I'm not trying to.
1 and
I'm
5.
not trying to get
like,
like. I'm not going to be painted like negative as hell because it's just not true. It's like agreed, Paulie. Day 1, Bears hired Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles. I called you in a fucking panic. I was like, Paulie, this is going to be the worst 4 or 5 years ever. This is going to be awful. The first time I heard about Hits Principle, I fucking laughed and I called you and I said, this shit will never work. This shit will never work. Agreed. The red flags are minimal as hell with Ben Johnson. Right?
shake,
But you can't
you know?
but you can't address that Carl is saying you're not investing in running back and you're not investing in left tackle, 2 of the most important positions for a young developmental quarterback, and then say we put our quarterback in the best situation possible to win, and say like he's going to have a 5,000-yard season because I think so. Like the facts aren't there. You don't have a starting left tackle on your team. You have 4 of them apparently. You don't have a starting running back. You have one of the worst running back rooms. The best way to give a developing quarterback a good shot to have a great season in his second year is run the fuck out of the ball and protect the shit out of him. And the first 2 things we led the show with is that we don't have a left tackle and our running back room is one of the worst in the league. And so, but where he's going to be the best. And Ben Johnson's going to have a 15-2 season and Caleb's going to throw for 5,000 because they're all great and everyone's great.
What do we always say, David? When it does fail and we look back on the year, we're always like, well, that was obvious. We should have seen that coming. And this is the clip right there. And we don't have a left tackle. And we don't have a running
The
back.
Ben Johnson flags
damn
are
you, dude.
minimal. Totally agree. Totally
These
agree.
are the nuggets
I have been blown away by Ben Johnson so far. Totally blown away. But it could all be bluster. Like it really could. We didn't even get into the preseason game. I've never seen so much active, engaged coaching and so much like hype from a coaching staff in this town in fucking forever. Just so little lack of confusion, so much engagement, so much knowledge of the situation all the time. All things considered, even if it's a preseason game, I get it. First 2 drives went 3 and out. Like, I'm sure they were putting some easy shit out there to get some good momentum early on. Even it's as a preseason game, week 1 preseason. You think they went with Tyson Bagent, went like, you know what, let's get experimental first 6 plays. No, they said let's get a nice little rhythm going, they went 3 and out. Shit happens. It's fucking football. So to pencil in like 10 wins or more, I think you can get there if you're really homery, but to say like to go from 5-7 wins, totally agree. Talent's there, team's good. It's the first year with a completely different philosophy. I'm blown away at the end of the day with how few players were cut from this regime. Because I bet you there's still some loafers on this team that they just kept because of either financial reasons or they were a name. There's definitely at least 2 starters on this team that they're like, yeah, we probably didn't want to keep him, but we kind of had to keep him.
Say who?
I would venture to say Tremaine Edmonds. I can't fathom
he's a serious
Dennis Allen.
financial burden.
I can't fathom Dennis Allen was just like, hell yeah, can't wait to scheme shit up for Tremaine Edmonds, a guy that matches nothing of what I do and is like, just a giant cap hit.
Keep in mind, they extended TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon immediately before they even saw any action, really. I feel like it was before training camp.
Those I have no issue with. I feel like those are, but that's because
that's what I'm saying.
Kyler
Like, those guys were locked in.
Team TJ Edwards, a bowling ball that's perfect for Dennis Allen. I would argue.
I got a depth chart if you want to see anything.
I mean, starters wise, we're talking maybe if we're talking a 23rd guy on the team for sure, but there's definitely a player or 2 that this regime came in, and I'm blown away that we didn't see like a trade.
Trade away?
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here, release, trade, anything. Like, I'm shocked at how little change, and because of that, the prediction I would have already is for next year, like, you're going to see the end of the next season, and there's going to be 1 running back on the roster before training camp, and it's going to be Kyle Monangai. And everyone else will be new.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, we're going to see things like
Cliff,
that.
How bold of Cliff to say Swift may not be RB1 next year. Swift may not be in the NFL next year.
That's a thumbnail right there. Is DeAndre Swift running back 1? No, but that's what I'm saying. So, like, yeah,
we're pushing
there's
on
other
an hour
players.
20. Anything else you guys want to hit before we wrap this up?
I'm stoked for preseason game 2.
Hit the Quan.
This is the new dress rehearsal, game 2. So
yeah,
this is
I don't know if you guys
you're gonna get.
I don't know if you guys heard this today. Ben Johnson verified that the starters will be playing. I expect the 22 starters who are penciled to start will play. The question is how much. Will it be 1 series? Will it be only 2 series? I sure fucking hope not.
Carl, I need you to read this out loud. Read this out loud.
And then we're going to coach you on it. It's going to go viral.
Poles is Roseman. We will soon realize this. He drafts high-value positions. The coach was the issue.
Poles and Howie Roseman, same guy.
Can I just okay? There's phases to being a GM, right? Ryan Pace was GM of the year. It's easy to go in and mortgage. Yes, he was GM of the year.
I can't remember that.
Executive
It's
of the
easy
year,
to push your chips all in and have it hit and turn a shitty team into an okay team or whatever. The second part of it is the longevity. Like after 3 years, after 5 years, have you dug yourself into a hole where you can't sustain?
Quarterback.
What Howie Roseman has done is built multiple
Quarterback.
Super Bowl teams throughout a 20-year span that have appeared in the Super Bowl with different coaches, different personnel. I mean, what that guy has done has been, kind of unmatched in a lot of ways. Like, the Patriots did a great job of keeping things pretty consistent, but like Howie Roseman has literally done it with multiple different regimes. And yeah, they're comparing anything to him is not realistic. It's just not. That guy he's great. Howie Roseman is a great GM.
I agree. Not running the ball is very scary, but Ben Johnson and Swift are both great at outside zone. You are aware that Ben Johnson actively removed DeAndre Swift for his team for 2 upgrades, correct? Actively. And then, by the way, I'm predicting 9 wins. I think the talent is excellent, but we need a year. That's literally all I've been saying for an hour and 20 minutes.
I think we can end on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, excitement for week 2. We'll see everybody next week. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for participating in chat. Agree, disagree, whatever. Let us know. We always like to talk to you guys. So thank you, everybody, and bear down. Let's see some good football in preseason, and let's hopefully catch the Vikings with their pants down in week
120 minutes, and neither of you sat Indian leg cross style and did a dance on Austin Booker. I'm proud of you guys.
I have a short on Bearski Film about Austin Booker. If you want to go check it out, it's on there. So
Well, did you guys know
I've
that
already
Austin
done my
Booker is
dance.
guaranteed to be a top 10 defensive end in the NFL in 2025? End the fucking stream.
boom. I was going to say I'm ending this.